Hi folks, welcome back to Bringing More to the Table with Shelly. Today I'm going to be making some artisan homemade bread with no sugar added in it. So our ingredients today are all-purpose flour, regular sea salt, and active dry yeast, and hot water. So I'm going to get started. I'm going to put in 1 tablespoon of sea salt into my bowl. You're going to need a large bowl for this because it does rise quite a bit. 1 tablespoon of active dry yeast into the bowl, 2 cups of very warm water. And I'm going to take the temperature of this water as well because it looks like it might be a little bit hot. And I don't want it too hot to wreck my yeast. So I'm just going to add a bit of cold water here to bring it up to 2 cups. And then I'm going to take the temperature of the water as well. So we got 2 cups of water there, and I have a little thermometer here which I'm going to check my temperature of my water, and it's still a little bit warm at 143 degrees Fahrenheit, which is way too hot. So I think I need to add a little bit more cool water to this, so just give me 1 second while I dump out a little bit here so we can add a bit more cool into it. Okay, let's try this again and see where we're at here. Give it a stir around. That's better, 120 degrees. Which should be fine. So I'm just going to pour this hot water into my salt and yeast, and I'm going to mix that until it dissolves. And then I'm going to add in 4 cups of all-purpose flour. So we just want this to dissolve the salt and the yeast a little bit. It doesn't have to be fully dissolved, the yeast, but you do want your salt dissolved into that water. All right, and then all we're going to do is we're going to take our 4 cups, which I've already pre-measured into my bowl here, and I'm just going to pour that in. Doesn't have to be sifted, just dump it right in on top of that and give it a good mix. You don't have to knead this. It's a very simple recipe. And after we've got this mixed in, we're going to put it in a warm place to rise for 2 hours with a lid on it. And that needs to be a loose fitting lid. And as I said, it needs to be a large bowl because this does rise quite a bit. And this is only half a recipe. So if you wanted to do a full recipe of this bread, to get 4 loaves, you would do 4 cups of water, 8 cups of flour, 2 tablespoons of yeast, and 2 tablespoons of salt. And then you just put it right into a warm spot. Now, and I'm going to put mine in the oven with the light on, with the timer for 2 hours. And that's it, folks. So I'm just going to scrape that off there. And then I'll give it another little mix up. And it's going right into my oven to sit for 2 hours. And then we'll be back. So as you can see, it's just plain, nothing fancy about this. But it is delicious. And as I said, there's no sugar in this bread. Okay, and that's it. So into the oven for 2 hours with the light on. Or wherever you have that's a warm spot. It doesn't have to be in the oven, just loosely fitting as well. Don't put your lid on tight. Okay, so here we go, into the oven. And I will turn my light on and set my timer for 2 hours. And that's it. So we'll see you back here in 2 hours.